Praise God. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, depending on where you're at right now. This is another video in the Project 2020 series trying to explain tritones. If for any reason at all you don't understand me, please excuse me. I just had oral surgery. This is Alejandro Ramirez, servant, friend, pastor, and I'm here to give you from what God has given me. Okay, this tritones used a lot in Black gospel, of course used in other types of Afro-American music and R&B, urban as well. See, the secret to using tritones as passing tones is just to get in creative ways. Instead of simply going from one scale, one note, one chord, just finding creative ways to get there. And right now I'm doing a 1, 6, 2, 5, 1 progression in C major. Nevertheless, to find a creative way to go from one chord to the next, we use tritones, especially when transitioning over to minor chords. See, I'm starting on C major. Now, however, when I'm going to go to the A minor, before hitting A minor, I'm going to use the adjacent tritone and right hand chord combination to make out a passing tone to get there. So I generally, for example, if I'm going to A, I will back 1/2 step down to A flat. And when basically tritones is like if you were making a major chord, take out the middle, and your last note, drop it a 1/2 step, and you get that pleasant sounding dissonance. Well, pleasant when you combine it with the right hand chord. In this case, my selection of right hand chords, which I learned from Jamal Hartwell, and I had listened to it countless number of times, but I hadn't been able to figure it out prior to watching his training videos. If I'm picking the A flat D tritone combination, I'm going a 1/2 step down from A flat on the right hand and going to G. Now I'm thinking to myself, okay, what chord is 1 whole step higher from the D and uses G, which is, it's going from the tritone, the beginning note from the tritone down. What uses that as the second inversion? What chord, major chord, uses that as? And the answer to that is C major. So it's very advantageous. I'm too tired at 3:37 in the morning to figure that out. To your best advantage, you'll work to memorize the tritone combinations in all 12 keys. So practice. Daily practice makes perfect. It goes to all the time. And you'll move each note 1/2 step up and practice that way. Oops. And good practice. Even if it's just for losing your fingers, but I mean that's too much things to memorize, nevertheless. So my method, why I call this secret tricks to tritones and passing tones, is to take a tritone, any tritone, for example in this case G and C sharp, which by the way corresponds to the 5th and the flat 7th. I mean the 3rd and the flat 7th if you're making a 7th chord. in this case, a C. See that? We take out the first and the fifth and leave the third and the flat 7. And it's a tritone. So in G. And certainly in G's case, we're constructing it like this, using that, taking out the first and the fifth and leaving the G and the C sharp. Now what happens is that this tritone is identical to this tritone. Doesn't matter which one is on top and which one is on the bottom. Nevertheless, there'll be a different major chord to accompany, even though this is fundamentally the same as this. Whatever is on your leftmost part, that's going to be the tritone. That's going to be what you're going to look at to make your tritone combination on your right hand. So in this case, the tritone will be an inverted B major chord, the tritone right hand side chord, because the to the left of all the way to the left of what I'm playing is G. So I go on my right hand, I go half step down from G, half step to the left of G, and I try to figure out, okay, what chord in its third inversion has F sharp as a major chord. Or if you want to get simple about it, just look at whatever you have on your second finger in the tritone in your left hand. In this case, I'm talking about C sharp, and think to yourself, okay, what's a whole step down from C sharp? And in that case, you get B. So I don't know. To me, I practice them by determining, if I'm making the G C sharp tritone, then I think a half step down from G, and that helps in making the tritone fast when you're playing in a live playing situation. But if you just want to think of it easy, then figure out, and from these two fingers, the one that's on the right side, what's a whole step down from that, and that'll be your major chord that you will associate, of course, in second inversion. You might read second inversion. This is the normal B major chord. Putting the B on top produces B major first inversion, and then putting the E flat on the top, although in this case you can't see it. You're going to go down here, putting the E flat on the top yields accordingly B major second inversion. Now this is fundamentally the same tritone. G C sharp and C G sharp is the same tritone, but since it has a different starting point, C sharp instead of G, then the tritone combination for that one in particular will be C, F, and A. And moving up and down in half steps, just everything, shifting everything over, up and down half steps, is a great exercise for practicing your tritones. It's also great exercise, and you will see why in a minute, because when we go to find the tritone that's a passing tone, we also can actually hit the same as the minor chord that we're going to, but just hit the tritone instead with the right hand combination. Anyways, let's make sense of this. I taught this in, I actually glanced over it, skimmed over it in C major. Now let me show you how to play the 1-6, I should say 1-6 to 5 progression in different scales. Nevertheless, after going to the 2, I'm going to go to the 4 before going to the 5. That'll be my tritone passing chord. Enough talk. F major, left hand, F C. Right hand, I'm just doing E, G, A, C. Now, since I'm going to the 6, quick key to go to the 6 is, if you have a major chord, you just take your right, whatever you play on the right hand, right part of it, and go a whole step up. That's your 6. So I'm thinking I'm going from, if I start off on C, F, I'm going after that to D. So, yep. And then before we go to D, we're gonna go half step down from D, which is C sharp and G, and you already learned the tritones of that. C sharp, G, left hand, C, F, A, right hand. And that's to go to the D chord. So this is how it'll sound. Just arpeggiating that. That's all I'm doing. I always like to do that. I'm actually doing, in this case, a D minor 9th, but just layering in it, taking this is regular D minor 9th, D, A, C, E, G, but I'm putting it second inversion of the C major chord, because to me, a minor 9th is just whatever chord is a whole step down. Whatever major chord is a whole step down of the minor chord that you're playing, you throw that on top in whatever inversion, and in this case, layering my fingers over one another. Okay, enough talk. Okay, check out this. I'm gonna go after this to the, we did the 1, 6, now we're going to the 2, and which is G, but to get there we're gonna hit the tritone that's on the flat 2. F sharp and C, with the corresponding right hand chord being F, B flat, and D. In other words, B flat major. Okay, let's try it. Now, last chord, I'm just going to use as a passing tone, to, a tritone on the 4th degree of F major, which is B flat. That's a tritone B flat and E. And right hand, I just go a whole step down, excuse me, half step down from B flat, because it's what's on the left. This is the tritone I'm using, or what I'm accompanying the tritone is A, D, G. How do I determine this? Again, half step down from the B flat is A, and I count up a fourth to the D, and I count up another fourth to the G, chordal chord, which is basically chordal chords tend to provide the basis for 6/9 chords. This is my 5 chord that I was moving to. So that's B. So this passing tone was B flat and E with A, D, G, and then going to that's a G major ninth, which is taking the G major chord and making a shell of it. You don't have to put the third, and adding the chord that's a whole step down from it, which is B flat, D, and F. And I throw in that A, that ends up I call this minor ninth, when in actuality it's major 11th. So this one is major 13th. And after that, there's not any more that you can really functionally add to it. Okay, quick recap. And let me position my cursor so that you'll be able to see all the chords. Oh, you say, well, I did something different there on that one. Well, I tend to do, that's how I tend to do my minor 11th chords. Instead of playing them like that, this would be a minor 11th. Well, I play them like this: G and D in our left hand, F, A, B flat, C, and F on the right hand. It's up to you. And it's extremely hard without doing this without a sustain pedal. I don't know where mine is right now, but hope you get the gist of it, and I hope this video helps someone to be able to use tritones as passing tones. More to come.